Hey folks, I just wanted to share with you my new top feeders that I bought. I got these through Mann, and just again for the record, I don't work for Mann. I'm not affiliated with them, I just like the products. What I've actually bought though is not the whole top feeder, it's just this insert. And you know, for a hunk of plastic with a screen, $15 or $15.50, whatever it was, it seems steep, but at the end of the day, you know, my whole thing is I have to be able to either make $20 an hour at a minimum or generate that much value. And the fact is, I can't build a wooden feeder that is this same capacity in an hour's time. I mean, if I, figured it all up and I pre-cut all the wood and, build 10 of them at a time, then I could average it out that I could build 10 in 10 hours for sure. But on a one-off basis, I can't, at least not right now. I'm too busy with other stuff. So I broke down and I finally bought these. I've been looking at them for months. Finally broke down and bought them. Bought 4 of them. The liner itself, I think, is about $15. I think if you buy the liner with the wooden super and it's all assembled, I think it's like $20. So I built the wooden box myself. It's just a square wooden box. It's 4 3/4. So if you have shallow supers, 4 3/4 inch supers, you can use those instead. You don't have to actually build a feeder box. You can just use 4 3/4 super boxes, which is a nice aspect to it. But I got all this lumber super cheap, 60 cents a board foot, and I mean maybe there's 2 board feet here. So I've certainly built the box cheaper than I could buy it. But to build all of these same angles and parts and components out of wood takes a long time, and then you got to worry about sealing it, make sure it doesn't leak. So I broke down and bought the plastic feeders. I'm going to see how it works. I think this thing says it can hold 4 gallons of feed. It's way more than probably any of my biggest hives can take down in a reasonable amount of time, so I'll probably just fill them half full, maybe only fill one side of the reservoir or something. But what I'm still looking for is somebody that has this feeder but for a 5-frame hive. I found wooden ones for a 5-frame nuke, but I haven't found plastic inserts. So I did build my own wooden box, but I haven't actually put it in use yet because I haven't decided on a good way to seal the seams. I've thought about caulk. My wife uses food grade essentially caulk on all of her aquariums, and so she said if it's aquarium safe, I'm sure it's bee safe. I thought about sealing the joints with wax. I've thought about sealing the whole box with wax. There's plenty of different designs out there. I just haven't settled on one yet. So anyway, the fact is, I've been feeding my hives, and a couple of my bigger hives, they're sucking down a quart jar of sugar water a day, and I don't have the time to go mix up and put on feed jars every single night at a quart a day. And I know it's only 5 or 6 hives, but I'm telling you, when it's the little things that just nickel and dime you to death. So time it takes me to go get the feed jars off the hives, rinse them out, mix up more sugar water, go put them back out, you're looking at close to an hour. And really that should only take somebody about 20 minutes, but you got to take care of the kid in between there and talk to the wife and have some family time. So it takes me about an hour, and half the time I forget halfway through and then leave a mess. So this will let me at least try to fill the feeders maybe once a week instead, make it a little more time efficient. So anyway, I'm gonna give them a shot. Just want to show it to you guys. Yeah, I think that's all I've got. So to have about this, and it's a complaint that I have with almost everything, is that there's a serious violation of bee space here. And there's only so much you can do about that. Certainly, you can't, not everything can be perfect. But this is, looking at here, close to an inch. It's going to be over an inch from the top of the top bars to the bottom of this. So the bees are really going to want to build a lot of burr comb and stuff in here, and possibly even up the sides, and possibly even here into the main slot where they go in and out. I do not recommend leaving a feeder on any longer than it needs to be. I know a lot of hobbyists, from what I've seen, will just leave their feeders on year-round. That's really not a good practice. You've got all sorts of cracks and grooves and corners up in here. These are perfect spots for small hive beetles to hide, even for wax moths to get in and build cocoons. You do not want that. Something I would actually consider, and I might think about it in the future, is putting a false bottom in this. So what I would do is, you've got 1/8 of an inch from your top bars to the top of a box. So So you need a 1/4 inch above it. And the way the boxes are designed is that when you have frames in there, there should be a 1/4 inch from the bottom of a frame to the bottom of the box, so that total you get 3/8 of an inch. There's your bee space. So what I would do would be put a false bottom on here, just a 1/4 inch plywood, and make sure it's inset a 1/4 inch. So I'd come in a 1/4 inch, then cut a 1/4 inch groove and put a 1/4 inch plywood, and then maybe stuff this space, fill it with expanding foam or something, and then just, you know, have a couple holes drilled. You're thinking you got false bottom here, so have a couple holes drilled here so the bees can still get into the feed area, but hopefully it wouldn't be big enough that they would feel compelled to build comb there. So just something to think about. If you guys are building your own, you know, it might be something you can do. Shoot, if you try it, let me know how it works. But I just realized this, you know, I read it fits inside a 4 3/4 box, and I mean, they're right, it does. It could probably fit inside of something like a 4 1/4 inch box, and then you might have a little less violation of bee space. But of course, then that opens a question: if you're going to have a violation, should it be a small violation or a big violation? I'd err on making it bigger. You know, going too big with bee space, they build wasteful comb. Going too small, you got pests. So if you must have a waste, or you must have a violation of bee space, it should be bigger, not smaller. So anyway, yeah, just I'll go ahead and cut it off there. Hope you all like my background music. So that's it.